from the very official inauguration of this forum. And thank you, of course, for taking time off to be part of this conference and making it such an exciting event. So the next session that we are going in will be a very plenary session, the very first one for this forum, which is evolving global drone regulations and implications in the South Asia and how that is affecting the different drone applications within the region as well. So with this session, we are looking on how we shall explore how different countries are trying to navigate the drone regulations and the policy environments and the different key trends such as the UTM and BVLOS regulations that are coming up from within the South Asia region as well. And we also want to explore how especially on the regulatory framework, how the different civil aviation authorities, because we are privileged to actually have a tendency from the various civil aviation authorities from Sri Lanka, Bhutan, Pakistan, Nepal, India, Bangladesh, and Maldives actually join us for this forum. So thank you for taking the time off your very busy schedule. And without any further delay, please join me in welcoming our very first speaker, Mr. Hiroki Takata, who is the regional officer at the International Civil Aviation Organization, that is ICAO, and he serves as the Air Traffic Management Officer. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, please.
It's on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Hiroki Takata, Regional Officer, Air Traffic Management at the ICAO Asia Pacific Regional Office located in Bangkok, Thailand. So on behalf of Regional Director, Mr. Tamao, I'd like to express our sincerely appreciation to Government of Nepal and the World Bank, as well as co-organizers. It is a great honor to be here in Kathmandu, Nepal, to join this very important event in South Asia. So I believe not everyone is from a civil aviation authority. So I'd like to explain a little bit about what ICAO is. So ICAO is the specialized agency of the United Nations that was established in 1944, managed the administration and the governance of the Convention of International Civil Aviation. So our key role, as you can see, sets international aviation standards for safety, security, efficiency, and environment protection. So our business is aviation from a United Nations perspective. So we do air traffic control, search and rescue, and aircraft, airport, and a passport standard, and also the accident investigation. And also UAS, RPAS, is one of them. So when we say standards and the recommendation practices, we call it SAPs in short. So member states are requested to establish national regulations according to the SAPs. So this is what we are doing at ICAO. So we do have headquarters in Montreal, Canada, and 7 regional offices, and my office is in Bangkok. And for our office, we have 2 offices, one in Beijing. We call it a regional sub-office. They take care of the implementation support to member states and administrations in our region. And recently, we established a new office in Fiji because PCIS, Pacific countries, have less capability to implement aviation regulations. So we established a new office in Fiji to support those state-species countries. And previous session this morning, we heard about how Nepal government tackled with the drone when they had natural disasters such as earthquake. So I'm originally from Japan, and my background is ATC, air traffic controller. So as you can imagine, earthquake is something normal in Japan, and then nobody pay attention to small one because we get used to so often. But I can say once in 20 years, we have a big one. So the most recent one, 2011, we had a big one in Tohoku that was huge impacted to Japanese economy. And about 20,000 were killed. And one nuclear power plant was damaged. So at that time in 2011, probably we didn't have such drone capability. So I haven't seen, such the video when we had a big earthquake in Japan. About 10 days ago, we had a big earthquake as well in Myanmar. And Myanmar is about 1,000 kilometers away from Bangkok. But on that day, we felt big earthquake in Bangkok too. So my apartment house is kind of high, right? And then they use a drone to check outside of our apartment house. So the big difference we can see between 2011 and 2025. So I think that is why we are here to join this important event, so-called South Asia Drone Forum. From here, I'd like to take you to a quick journey through the scope of ICAO's work on unmanned aviation. These new technology, as I mentioned, it's now available, bring a host of futures from diverse frameworks to a wide range of societal appreciations. And they've already shown great potential. But without proper coordination, unmanned aircraft could pose serious risks to traditional crewed aviation. So that is why we can hear a lot of good lessons learned from speakers this morning. This is one of the examples of a scope of ICAO work on unmanned aviation. First, remotely pilot aircraft system, we call this RPAS, is made up of several components. First, we have the remotely pilot aircraft, RPA. That's actual flying vehicle. And there is one or more remote pilot stations, RPS, where the pilot controls the aircraft from the ground. And these are connected through a C2 link, which is a communication data link between aircraft and the ground station. It allows the pilot to manage the flight, whether that's through direct radio line of sight or beyond it, for example, using satellites. So since I have a limited schedule this morning, so I'm going to skip those, but this presentation will be available later by the organizer. So if you are interested in, please take a look. Since unmanned aircraft operate in shared airspace, it is important to point out that ICAO's main focus is on international flights carried out by the certified aircraft, particularly remote pilot aircraft system, RPAS. However, even smaller unmanned aircraft systems like small drones we saw this morning here can pose serious risks to move to manned aviation and international operations if they are used irresponsibility or outside of regulations. That's why ICAO is also paying close attention to these operations. So one good example was recently we received information from Pacific states. And some fishermen, they used to use helicopters to find fishes, but instead, some of them, they use drones. But the helicopters pilots cannot see drones. So that's what's happening in Pacific. Then when I had a chat with my headquarters about this issue, I found similar issue in Atlantic as well. So this is something we have to discuss and we have to find a solution. So those are the documents ICAO provides, and we have a lot of documents. I'm going to show you the link later, but maybe I can skip due to time constraint. And this is the newest SAP related to ICAO, is Annex 6, Part 4. Related to outpass operations. This divided into 15 chapters and 10 appendixes and 12 attachments. In a total of 198 pages, that covers ranges of subjects related to outpass international flight. I'd like to draw your attention to a section in the Annex 6, Part 4, which addresses the categories of operation. In this section, ICAO presents a proposed three-tier risk-based and operation-centric classification system. This proposal is based on the work developed by the several agencies, including ICAO. And it's important to emphasize that these categories are proposal, not an ICAO-defined standard. The authority to define and implement regulatory frameworks remains with individual states. So this is what I meant, the smaller one. Low-risk activities, typically involving small UAS flying at a low altitude with visual line of sight, may not require specific authorization and fall under the scope of Part 101. And we have 102. This is the medium-risk operation, such as beyond visual line of sight. I think this matter will be discussed tomorrow in details at the breakout session. And the last one is the higher risk operations, similar to those in manned aviation, where certified aircraft pilots and operators are required. So for those operations, ICAO SAPs apply, such as those outlined in Annex 6. Again, 101 is related low-risk operation, 102 related to medium, and then certified category related to ICAO annexes, Annex 6. So this is what we have done at the regional level. The regional office formed unmanned aircraft system task force about 10 years ago, and the task force provided the guidance, regional guidance, on the regulation and the safe operations of UAS within national airspace. Because we didn't have a global guidance at that time, so we needed this regional guidance. Then after several years ago, in 2023, all the necessary documents were provided by ICAO headquarters. So we withdrew the regional UAS guidance. But all the necessary information are included in the global guidances I'm going to show you. Oh, before that, those are the Advanced Air Mobility, AAM. This is our future. We have to consider how we can deal with those operations. I'm going to omit this slide because due to time limitation. So those are the ICAO resources we have. So as you can see, a lot of tools, a lot of documents, a lot of trainings are available by ICAO. So for member states, all the ICAO documents are available, but for third party, like private companies, if you need to review those ICAO documents, you can go to the ICAO store website and then to check what kind of documents available. So the easiest way is to scan the QR code. And next one is training. This is the one example of the classroom and virtual classroom ICAO training, duration for 5 days. So if you are interested in, please access the website accordingly. And IPACS. IPACS is something interesting. For the state support, ICAO provides the IPAC. In this support package, ICAO offers templates for the regulatory framework and the detachable expert to follow the development and give support in activities. So IPAC for drone operation, IPAC for UAS is available as well. And also a lot of meetings, a lot of seminars, webinars conducted by ICAO. So those information are available on the ICAO website. You can go to the ICAO website and then you can find a lot of useful information. And I come back to the regional. So last 2 years, ICAO APAC office conducted UAS ALPAS webinars. First one held in 2023. The last one, second one was 2024. In addition to that, ICAO APAC is going to conduct a seminar on UAS integration in national and high seas airspaces. Tentative dates at Q4 2025. It's going to be 3 or 4 days seminar, and the location will be our office in Bangkok. And our objective is to improve the state's awareness of ICAO provisions, including Annex 6, facilitate safe, secure, and efficient integration of UAS operations, and the data collection, ALPAS UAS AAM operation, and the regulatory developments. So I'm really looking forward to everyone can on board. And I hope I can see you in Bangkok sometime in Q4 of this year. So to conclude my speech presentation, I'm really looking forward to closer cooperation, coordination, and collaboration with Government of Nepal and the other states, as well as World Bank. And I wish this important event be fruitful and a success. Thank you very much.
You can have a seat, yes, please. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Mr. Takata, and of course, giving us an overview of what ICAO is doing and how they are supporting the drone ecosystem. Please allow me welcome to the stage the panelists for this session, Mr. Praveen Winshin, who is the Civil Aviation Inspector and Manned Aircraft System, Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka, Engineer Asalan Shafiq, who is the Senior Joint Director, Airworthiness from the Pakistan Civil Aviation Authority, Mr. Ganindra Bull, who is the Deputy Manager, Flight Permission Section, Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal, Mr. Pelden Wangchuk, who is the Deputy Chief Flight Safety Officer from the Bhutan Civil Aviation Authority, and Ms. Kavita Singh, who is the Deputy Director, Drone Directorate, Directorate General of Civil Aviation, India, Mr. Ashraf Alam, who is the Flight Operations Inspector, Civil Aviation Authority of Bangladesh, Mr. Mohamed Afla, who is the Deputy Minister, Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation Authority of Maldives. Thank you. Thank you very much, panelists, for joining us for this session. I believe no one really knows who you are. So as you give a brief introduction with yourself, starting with our very own host, Mr. Genendra Bull, just a brief introduction of who you are, and also an elaborate aspect of how the regulatory system is within the Nepal ecosystem and how you're supporting that. But also more specifically, maybe you give an elaborate experience on how, based on your experience and overseeing flight permissions in Nepal, how the Civil Aviation Authority in Nepal is adapting its progresses and processes to adapt the growing number of drone operations. Of course, from the statistics we've seen from the 2015 earthquake, the drone operations have really increased over time, and what steps are being taken to ensure that both the regulatory compliances and the operation efficiencies in the evolving landscape is being adopted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, very good morning to all the participants to South Asia Drone Forum 2025. As organizing committee member, I also heartily welcome to all the participants across the country from the government of Nepal, different government agencies, ministries, civil aviation authorities, and government agencies and aviation authority from 7 countries, including Nepal. Thank you very much. Just in line with our inaugural ceremony, what our Director General, Deputy Director General mentioned. In the Nepal, we are very initial stage of the unmanned aircraft systems. Now, from after the one kind of the earthquake, 2015, that was the most disaster earthquake, different kind of uses, different kind of the applications regarding the operations and regulations, they are growingly increasing in Nepal. As we all know, every technology start from the innovations, then operations, followed by the regulations. And the prime objective of the regulation is to enhance is to secure any person, property, and environment. So, in the line with that one, when ICAO issued one model unmanned regulation guidelines, UAS requirements in 2020. In line with that one, Civil Aviation Authority of Nepal also issued UAS regulation, that is the UAS requirements in 2021. As mentioned earlier, ICAO regional officer, we are in line with compliance with the 2 parts only so far, part 101 and part 102. We still yet to adopt the part 141 of UAS guideline and other advisory circulars. As part of that one, our own, we have as you all know, the Nepal Civil Aviation System is guided by the 2 acts, that is the Civil Aviation Act 1959 and the Civil Aviation Authority of the Act 2053. And by giving the power of the Civil Aviation Act 2053, we have the Civil Aviation Regulations 2002. By empowering the regulatory power or legal power of the Civil Aviation Regulation 202, we started the registration of the drone and the permission of the drone. Only 2 things, drone registration and a permission that started by taking the power of the Civil Aviation Regulation 2002. But in the line of the airspace management, we were still lacking there at that time. So, for the airspace management, apart from the drone registration and the licensing, we issued the one procedure in 2019, and after it came into effect in the early 2020. That is the one kind of the working procedures. That procedures entrusted the three authorities, three ministry, Home Ministry and Communication Ministry and a Ministry of Culture, Tourism and Civil Aviation. And in line with the prime guideline of the International Civil Aviation Organization, we started two things there: the registration of the drone with the identification, that is the unique identification number that is given to the each and every drone as per their maximum takeoff weight classification. And in line with the airspace management, we issued the permission. We are issuing the permission, that is the operating permission, operating license, those who already registered with the Civil Aviation Authority by the Home Ministry, concerned District Administration Office and Home Ministry in collaboration of the concerned civil aviation offices and other agencies which are in direct impact. So, what I want to reiterate the things, we are here only implementing the part 101 and 102. We are still far for the implementation part of the 149. Because nowadays, for the agriculture, for the survey, for the different inspection, to find the survivals during the disaster, before 1 year, we had witnessed the one big disaster. That was landslide and a flood. And at that time, different agencies, including the Home Ministry, they had used the drone for initially the identification of the survivals in the Kabra districts. So, in line with that one, we are also increasing the application part also. But as already mentioned, our Deputy Director General, main thing is here safety. Safety, security and facilitation from the operation of the unmanned aircraft system. Initially now drone, we are still yet to go beyond we are just in the Nepal, we are just operating the VLOS, just visual line of sight. We are yet to go to the beyond VLOS. So, recently, as all the safety will not insured by the single entity, the safety will be insured as per the principle of the ICAO, that is the harmonization of the regulation. If there is no uniformity, if there is no harmonization of the regulation in the South Asia, within the country, every effort that will fail in there. So that's why, to make that fruitful, Government of Nepal, Ministry, Civil Aviation Authority, we are trying to develop a single forum, a single online platform. We also developed the one portal, drone portal by the Civil Aviation Authority. But that is not sufficient because the illegal drone, we are very far from the remote ID. And we just started in collaboration with the different drone company. Due to the many small occurrences, we started the geofencing. Geofencing, that is the virtual fencing system in collaboration with the CE certified drone. So that's why now we are yet to go the BB and some transport, commercial transport, that may be the dangerous code, normal things by the drone, and still Ministry and the Civil Aviation Authority are doing homework for the formation of the regulation. That regulation, that would be the approval from the cabinet, and that would create the one kind of the common platform for the national collaboration and harmonization in the line with the principle of the ICAO. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bull. And or giving us an overview of the Nepal ecosystem and how you're really supporting that, and we commend you for the great progress that you're doing so far. Thank you very much. Applause.
Thank you.
Yes, over to Engineer Asal and Shafiq. So Pakistan has recently drafted the new drone regulations, which are in the process of government approval and expected to be published soon. I understand operating regulations will follow. How has the process been, and what were some of the key challenges, and how are you overcoming those? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The main challenges that we faced during the formulation of regulations was that we want to regulate each bird that is, or each drone that is flying in the vicinities, different vicinities surrounding our airspace. So what we have done to cater for that is we have mandated the registration for every drones that will be operated in Pakistan. So by that, we will be able to know the details of the owner of that drones or an operator of that drone. So the next challenge is basically related to the security concern. So what we have done is we have mandated a track and trace system that is required to be installed on certain categories of drones. So by that, we will be able to know the flight operation, and we can control, if required, the current operation of that particular drone. The third challenge is basically was the airspace management. So what we have done is basically we have segregated our airspace into 4 main categories. That is prohibited, restricted, segregated, and permitted airspace. So in the permitted airspace, the drones can fly without any flight authorizations. For the other airspace, they need to require to apply to the authority to get that flight authorization, and then they can fly on that part. So that's all.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing how that has been done, and of course, looking out for opportunities on how to overcome these challenges and see how these regulations can be put in place. I'll move on to Mr. Mohamed Afla, who is from the Ministry of Transport and Civil Aviation Authority that is in Maldives. And of course, we understand that Maldives has a very unique geographic landscape compared to the other countries that we have here. With over 1,000 islands. How has this geographic environment influenced your thinking on the drone regulations?
Thank you very much. Good morning. And first of all, I go to the question. I would like to thank Nepal for hosting this first ever forum. And Nepal, this is my 5th time Nepal, so I really love this place. In 1998, I came, and it happened. I stayed in the same hotel here, so what I remember is just the casino. So thank you, World Bank, for arranging this, and also the very enthusiastic team of the World Bank. Thank you. And my profession is aviation, so I started my work in 1992 as the airport operations in the Maldives, which by that time it was all manual. So we started with manual, with passenger manifest, load sheets, everything is done by manual. So, and got a aviation experience. So right now I'm the Deputy Minister at the Maldives Transport and Civil Aviation. So basically I'm looking after the aviation department. And I would like to highlight the 2004 Asian tsunami, and I happened to be at the airport in the Maldives, which was biggest disaster in the Asia, I believe. And Maldives, we faced very, very huge challenges during the tsunami. And since geographically we have we are 1,100 islands scattered all over the Maldives, and basically we have 99% sea and 1,100, like 2,000 islands. It's all separate islands, so it was very hard to locate the people because, and also at that time, fortunately, still the seaplanes were operating. So we could manage to scan the disaster and the impact of that. So, and we are very fortunate right now that yes, going back to your question, so when we start using the drones, and it is already, the government has decided, and it's already in the gazette of the government for the drone operations and how to use the drone operations in the Maldives. So we have to take 3 steps to get the permission to use the drones in the Maldives, because of our unique environment. Geographically it's sea and the ocean, and because we are having more than 99 seaplane platforms in the Maldives, so it's scattered all around the country, and it is operated under VFR conditions. So therefore, it's extremely challenging to set up boundaries for recreational drones. Most of, in the Maldives, most of the drones are used for recreational because of our tourism is basically one of the high resources income. So currently the drone operations are reviewed case by case. So first step is that if you want to operate a drone, recreational drone, you have to get the approval from the Maldivian National Defense Forces. Yeah, Maldivian National Defense Forces, and on their website there's the application form and everything. So you have to get the approval from the defense forces first of all, and the second step will be after that you obtain the approval from the defense forces. You apply for the civil aviation application for another step. So you have to get the defense forces approval plus the civil aviation application approval. And the third step, since most of the drones are used for recreational, like resorts, advertisements, or like we are scattered, so most of the time we cannot travel by boats or speedboats, so it's very difficult to get a certain, the way they want to get for the advertisement for a resort or anywhere, or a cultural event in the sea. So we have to get the third approval from for example, the city council. You have to get the city approval from the National Center of Arts, and also from the airports company. So this is the third step. We have to get these 3 approval to operate the drones in the Maldives. So for security reasons, all these things has to be done, because there are green zones which are not permitted to use these recreational drones. And of course, we do have search and rescue drones in the Maldives, which is operated by the defense forces for the search and rescue. And anybody, all the citizens can apply for these drone operations in the Maldives. All public or private or individuals can apply. So basically, this is how we operate the drones in the Maldives. And apart from this, last year, our regional airports company collaborated with the Maldives National University in researching how they can operate drones in the Maldives for various purposes. For example, there are a lot of demand in the cargo. Since we used to supply these through the boat. It takes a lot of times. Plus, since the Maldives islands are scattered throughout the area, it's very difficult to supply the medical facilities to each and every separate island, you know. So we are 19 provinces, atolls. So every atoll we have a governing body, city council. So what we do research is that we put the medicines, because of the conditions of the medicines, we cannot keep it for that long, right, in the atoll. So we have to get a supply from the main supplier and get it stored in a certain time. So from there we have to supply through the drones to the scattered island. So basically that is the research we are doing, how the demand of the cargo with the drones plus the maintenance and the medical facilities, how we could reach out to the remote islands, so that the Maldivian people can be reached in a faster way. Yeah. So thank you. That's an update.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afla, and of course for catering for all the Maldivians and providing the essential medicines, for example, and definitely diversifying the drone ecosystem. So over to Mr. Ashraf Alam, who is from the Civil Aviation Authority of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is also in the process of updating its drone policies and guidances. And while the Civil Aviation Authority is responsible for this, the use cases and applications are concerned with multiple line ministries. As such, for example, agriculture, transport, and health. Can you share lessons that you've learned on how you lead the different coordinations across the different government line ministries? Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. First of all, I would like to thank World Bank and the host Nepal for organizing such a great event to harmonize and to share the regulatory and policy related topics among the South Asian nations. So going back to your questions, currently we have developed policy, drone policy, and we drafted a navigation order where the guidance material are also built in the air navigation order for the industry and for the regulatory body also. They are waiting for the comments from law enforcement divisions and for the industry, and we are collecting the comments and we're trying to update those policy and air navigation order time to time. And we are trying to get comments also from the other nations, and we are also following the regulations from other nations where we can develop and harmonize the regulations time to time. And in case of use cases, we are permitting the drone flying only for the government projects and for agricultural and educational purpose only. And for that, there is a form in our website. First of all, you have to fill the form with the valid reasons for why you are going to use the drone. And you know, Bangladesh is a densely populated country. Mostly the cities are highly populated. So we are giving permission for aerial surveys, agricultural purpose, which are in the rural areas and not in the cities currently. And I have a request to the ICAO that, you know, not like the airlines, and drone is evolving day by day, right? So we need more trained manpowers for this evolving and innovating technology. So my request would be develop more training programs, more workshops for the developing nations like South Asian countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Alam, for that, of course, and from the ICAO as well. Yes, I think that is well noted. Thank you so much. Ms. Kavita, she's the Deputy Director, the Drone Directorate, that is from the Directorate General of Civil Aviation, India. India has had a vibrant drone ecosystem, and the enabling policy and regulatory environment has been a very key factor. Can you explain the vision and the thinking behind the drone policy in India and how you see it evolving in the future?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to give a brief overview of the regulatory provisions for drone operations that are existing in India. So the first pertinent regulations for drone operations in India is the Drone Rules 2021, and which laid down the foundation for a safe, secure, and efficient ecosystem of drones in India. These rules are built upon the premises of trust, self-regulation, and non-intrusive monitoring. So the applicability of these rules are applicable for the civil users and for drones weighing up to 500 kg only. So one of the important highlights of the rules were the enabling provisions for the issuance of type certificates for the unmanned aircraft systems in India. So on the basis of these drone rules, Government of India published a certification scheme for the unmanned aircraft system for the purpose of type certification of unmanned aircraft systems in India. So these certification scheme, it contains the minimum certification criteria, and it also contains the minimum requirements for the authorized testing entities and the certification bodies who actually evaluate the designs and they witness the tests so that the DGCA can issue the type certificates. So the present scope of the certification scheme is limited to the VLOS operations, that is visual line of sight operations, day and night operations, and up to 400 feet AGL. So based on the certification scheme, DGC India has issued a total of 105 type certificates to various US models for operations in India. Also, as per drone rules, every drone which has to operate in Indian airspace has to be registered with a unique identification number, irrespective of the weight and the use case. All the drones, they have to be type certified. They have to have an insurance to cover the third-party damages unless they are exempted under these rules. Another important provision of these rules I would like to highlight is the provision to authorize the remote pilot training organizations. So all the remote pilots, they have to undergo the remote pilot training from these DGC authorized remote pilot training organizations and obtain remote pilot certificates. So as a unique step, I would like to highlight as a unique step to involve all the citizens of the country in the drone ecosystem, involving those who are into the rural areas and in the far-flung areas of the country. DGCA has issued guidelines to impart the drone training in the vernacular language as well, because most of the people in the rural areas of our country, they are non-English speaking community. So these guidelines were issued, and based on these guidelines, it actually significantly increased the usage of drone in the agricultural sector of the country, and it helped us to reach the technology in the rural areas. So because of all these steps, we have a total of around 26,000 remote pilot certificates that have been issued by various remote pilot training organizations in the country. Another very important provision of the drone rules is a provision to carry out the safety oversight, surveillance inspections, and to levy penal provisions that are existing in the rules. We can actually take enforcement actions against the violators. So we can see that there is a trust and track mechanism inbuilt into these rules. Then regarding the airspace, I would like to tell that Indian airspace, as per these drone rules, are divided into various zones. So these are color-coded as green, yellow, and red based on the requirement of the operational permission. For the green zone, you do not need any operational permission, and this is a free zone where you can fly. Yellow zone, you require permission from the Air Traffic Controllers Authority. And red zone is a no-fly zone, and if you want to operate, you have to take permission from the Central Government of India and the red zone owner. So it is a responsibility of the remote pilot to see if he is operating in the green zone, or if he wishes to operate in the red zone or yellow zone, he has to ensure that appropriate permissions have been obtained. Another important provision of the rules is that our Drone Rules 2021, it strongly encourages research, development, and testing activities in the country without any regulatory hindrance. Further, regarding the airspace, India has published National US Traffic Management System Policy, which has details of the responsibilities of the various stakeholders who will be part of this UTM policy. And also the UTM architecture is deployment plan, the provisions for remote identification, tracking, etc. So work is in progress in India for the actual implementation of this UTM policy. Another work in progress in India is we are also working to enable regulations for the BVLOS operations in India. which of course it is a global challenge and it requires extensive work in the area of C2 link and the detect and avoid technologies and the UTM, of course. So we are actually exploring ways, and we propose to conduct field trials with our stakeholders, in which we will invite specific manufacturers and specific operators to operate their drones in the specific corridors. And based on the data collected from these field trials, we'll be formulating our policies on the BVLOS operations as well. Further, another work in progress in India is the work on advanced air mobility and the eVTOLs. For that, we have already issued two circulars, that is guidance materials. First is on the design, operation, and authorization of the vertiports, that is infrastructure, and the other is on the type certification of the eVTOLs, that is the machine. So these are the work in progress in India concerned. So this is it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that elaborate ecosystem that is happening in India, and of course the various aspects, even how you're supporting the different drone corridors, for example, people that want to test their drones. Thank you so much. Mr. Peldin Wangchuk, who is from the Bhutan Civil Aviation Authority. Bhutan is unique in that your approach is to allow drone operations for government purposes, and the country is embarking on exciting work on developing a UTM system with private sector and development partners. Could you please elaborate more on the UTM system development and what opportunities you see as well?
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of all the participants from Bhutan, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ministry of Culture, Tourism, and Civil Aviation and the World Bank for organizing this forum. And we are looking for this fruitful discussion and learning from this forum. Regarding the Bhutan, we have a very restrictive approach in regulating the drone operation, where only the government agencies are allowed for these drone operations. And with the increasing number of drone operations and the requirement to integrate the drone operations with the restrictive airspace, and moreover to have a seamless drone traffic management and to improve our surveillance of the drone operation, as in Bhutan, one of the key challenges we are facing now is to have a surveillance of the drone operations. I think in many countries like Bhutan, I think this problem would be a key challenges, I think. And with these key challenges, in Bhutan, we have a private company called Aerotech, who are working on this, the development of the UTM in collaboration with the JICA project, where they are doing a detailed study on the requirement for the development of this UTM project. They are still in the initial stage of development of the API to integrate with the drone so that they can have a proper surveillance of the drone, locating the drone, their altitude and airspeed of the drone. A detailed presentation on this will be done by my friend Anuj from the Aerotech. I think it's tomorrow. We are also looking forward for the robust system from them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pelden. And I'll move on to Mr. Preven, who is from Civil Aviation Authority of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is also transitioning to new drone regulations, including the implementation of open, specific, and certified categories, and the development of digital maps for restricted areas. What do you see as the opportunities and challenges for BVLOS operations?
Thank you, Karen. First of all, I would like to thank on behalf of Sri Lanka and CA Sri Lanka to Nepal and the World Bank to having us here. And before going into the question, I will give a quick brief about our regulatory background. So to provision to regulate unmanned aircraft force came in our basic regulation published in 1959, which they states that RPATs, remotely piloted aircrafts, need to be having authorization by DGCA to operate inside the country. So then the main legislation was replaced in 2010 by the CA Act 2014, and that also mentioned that all RPAs needed to be have an authorization from the DGCA. So based on that, DGCA has issued an implementing standard in 2015. So that was revised 3 times, and with the rapid development of the industry, so that we have decided to come up with a new risk-based operation-centric approach like the EU have taken. So based on that, we have used the EU regulation 945 and 947, and based on that document, we have developed our new regulation. So that was published in 1st of March this year. And we are doing the implementing part phase by phase. So already 2 parts are done, which includes the part for regulating manufacturers, importers, sellers in the country. And by 1st of April, we have published our geozone map. And the data is keep getting from other relevant authorities, and the map is updating. And by next month, we'll be publishing the online portal for drone registration. And in June, we'll be issuing the pilot UAPL unmanned aircraft pilot license as well. By September 1st, the full regulation will be implemented, and the open and specific certified categories operation come into effect. So in terms of BVLS operations, there are BVLS operations happening in Sri Lanka currently as well. Most of them are surveying and mapping operations, and some of them operating in high altitude as well, where they are sharing the airspace with manned aircrafts. So what we do is we are developing SOPs with the operator and the ATC and the CAA to coordinate with the operation. And another challenge is when we are doing BVLS operations, that crossing over some restricted or high sensitive areas. So to overcome those issues, that we have already developed the map, and by September 1st, the specific category, the BVLS operations will be falling under a specific category, so the operator will be needed to submit a SORA. So based on that, we'll be developing SOP as well. So, and to address the air traffic management issue in the future, based on our traffic demand, we'll be looking at a UTM solution as well. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Provin, for that effort that you have done in Sri Lanka, and how you're supporting the ecosystem and the different drone regulations and certificates that you're in place and that you're setting up. And of course, we understand there are different participants from all over the different South Asian countries. Please, if you have any questions, we shall have a session for take up just a few questions. Kindly keep that in mind. Over to Mr. Takata. After hearing the diverse regulatory developments across South Asia, each shaped by unique national context, how can ICAO best support member states in aligning with international standards while remaining responsive to local realities such as air complexities, institutional capacity, and emerging use cases?
Hello? Hello. Okay, thank you very much, Caroline, for your question. So, ICAO perspective, your regulation is important because we could hear a lot of different situations. The Maldives situation is different from what Pakistan is facing. So the regulations can be different, but as many people mentioned, harmonization is is a key. So this forum is among South Asia, but from my perspective, as ICAO Asia Pacific region, we have to have some kind of harmonization with different sub-regions as well. Southeast Asia, North Asia. And also, our ultimate goal is the harmonization globally. So, because if you consider the geographical location of India, for example, their neighbor is African region. The Pakistan is neighboring to Middle East countries. So if they have totally different regulations, not only a drone operation, but also the aviation regulations, it may be difficult. It can be a bottleneck for us. So this is very important. This is very nice, good opportunity for us to consider harmonization, how we can collaborate among South Asian countries. But also, next step, we can consider how we can collaborate with other sub-regional countries, sub-regional states, and what we can do for global harmonization. And I'm here to listen to you because ICAO is not the body to do whatever we want. We do based on your needs. So I'd like to know what you need from ICAO. So I will be here for 3 days. So please feel free, talk to me, what kind of implementation support, workshop, for example, as he mentioned, seminars. So please feel free, talk to me. So based on that needs, we are going to consider conducting events by ICAO. And thank you very much, speakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and of course, offering the support from ICAO. Thank you so much. I think we might have a few questions from the audience. Anyone with a question from the different countries, either to the respective civil aviation authorities or to ICAO specifically, they are welcome. I'll just stand here. Any questions, please? Yes, I see a question here. Maybe someone help us with the mic.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Mine is a question on the harmonization that's been talked about. Is there a system that's been put in place with the respective authorities where if one trained in one country, they can take their certification and be able to fly in a different country, where the civil aviation can easily translate the remote pilot license in, say, Nepal and India? Do we have something of that sort? Thank you very much.
So I think, who wants to take that? The question is there a way to harmonize? Is there a way to harmonize the training that, for example, that are given in different countries? Yes.
Yeah. Again, harmonization is key, as you mentioned. So what ICAO APAC is doing is, conducting workshop, conducting seminar to have a common understanding why this is needed, why we have to do this. And then, if we have a common understanding of the matter, we can discuss how we can collaborate each other, how we can harmonize each other. So one of example is the air traffic flow management in our region. For example, in European countries, ATFM is easy because they have a Eurocontrol. So Eurocontrol could manage everything. But in our region, we don't have a Eurocontrol type organization in Asia. So we decided to do by harmonization and collaboration. So we don't have an ATFM center for region, but each state communicate each other as a node. Then they can do the virtual coordination. So that is one of the good example of the how Asia-Pac region did harmonization. So I can say for the training for licensing, we do provide a lot of seminars, workshop for licensing as well. And then we invite some states as a scholarship. So some states who may have a difficulty to afford coming to Bangkok so often. So we provide a scholarship as well. So through those kind of stuff, I'm a Legion Officer ATM, so like AIM, ATC, search and rescue, those kind of needs to be harmonized. So that's why we do conduct annual meetings. And in addition to that, we conduct a workshop seminar. At least we can have a common understanding what is a key for harmonization. I hope my answer good? Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our panelists for these great discussions and to the audience for your active participation. Just before we close this session, unfortunately, we are not able to take more questions, but feel free to approach and connect with any of the panelists here if you have any questions that you may want answered personally. Because of time, we are not able to take every question at the moment. We have a token of appreciation for our panelists. I'll call Ms. Indu Jeremire to join me on the stage, please, to give our token of love. Thank you. Yes. So we shall start with Mr. Takata. Oh, center line. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Takata. Mr. Preven. Thank you very much. Engineer Asalan Shafiq. Mr. Janadra Bull. Mr. Peldin Wangchuk. Ms. Kivita Singh. Mr. Ashraf Alam. And Mr. Mohammed Afla. Thank you so much for such a vibrant session. I'll kindly request that you take your seats as we welcome Plenary 2. Yes, as we welcome the Plenary 2, which is on regional cooperation and capacity exchange within the South Asia drone ecosystem. And that will happen here. Kindly join me in inviting Mr. Arun Badil, who will be our moderator for this session. Thank you so much.